You're from Newcastle, Man U fan.
I'm from Berwick, which is like
Right.
just not
Okay.
far.
Right. Okay then. So we're here with two Man U fans. So what's your names first of all?
Keel.
Stuart.
So before we jump into it, from Berwick, so Newcastle local.
I'm from the Berwick area. I'm a Berwick local. This is obviously a away Man United game, but it's a home game for me. Mm-hmm. But I've made seven away games at St James's, and I'm still yet to see them win. So today's going to be different. It's going to be the first one. It's going to be the first one.
You're confident, yeah?
5 draws, mind.
Yeah.
But
I've been here for the last 2 years and never seen a score a goal, so...
Well, how confident are you going into this? Because obviously Newcastle's got a little bit of form. Man U's... I'll
be honest with you, mate. I'm not very confident. We're probably not going to win today. All our focus is on Europa League. So it's all about come here, play his game, get a bit of momentum and try and...
Well, speaking of the Europa League, obviously your keeper letter has turned in. Rumours are he's not playing today. Is he kind of deserved to play? Is he going to get shipped out in the summer? What's your thoughts on him? It's expensive keeper.
It's 50-50 for me because at the end of the day, he's a good keeper. He went to Champions League final with Inter Milan. He's done a lot of things, but he's dropped a lot of mistakes, hasn't he? So
I think sometimes you've just got to take them out of the spotlight, and I think that's what he's doing. He's made the right decision. I think there's something on the cards today because I've seen us play the last few games, even Lyon on Tuesday, Man City last Saturday. You watch Newcastle against Leicester on Monday. There was lethargic. They've had the win of the Carling Cup, so Eddie Howe's not in the hot seat today as well. I think that'll be a big difference. Yeah. But I think something's growing today, and I'm confident.
With Man U in general, is there a big facelift expected in the summer? Because obviously you've got some players that are not probably up to scratch. You've got a few out on loan like Rashford and a few others. Is it a big summer you're expecting? Because your owner's a penny pinching. Is there going to be money to spend?
I feel like at the end of the day, we've got a lot of, like you said, there's a lot of players out on loan. Anthony, Rashford, Casemiro's due to go. Lindelof's going to leave. Eriksen's going to leave. I think Ruben's going to come in. He's got players he needs to bring players in who's going to play his style of play.
Exactly. What we've got to get over the problem is why every time players come to Man United with high expectations, they're like not quite making the cut, but then when they go, you can look at Rashford, you look at Anthony, and they proper step on, and it's almost like there's a massive pressure cloud at Man United. If Amorim can get that right and change that sort of expectation or change that attitude, then it's not you're not signing bad players. Bad players, they're becoming bad players when they come to Man United.
What I think is as well, a lot of players who you see who leave Man United now, like Scott McTominay,
they kick on.
Doing well at Napoli.
It's almost like the pressure's been lifted.
Yeah. Is that because it's a big club, Manchester, and is it that, or is it a toxic kind of environment? What do you think?
There's toxicity.
I think a little bit of both. I think you've got biggest club in the world. Oh, well, apart from Real Madrid, but you've got the biggest club in the world, and then you've got United. Players coming to United and they just don't know how to deal with it.
Obviously, it's the post-Ferguson era. There's been toxicity. It's well documented everywhere in the freaking stratosphere. Everyone's talking about Man United, so it does take a certain personality to be able to come and play that. I think
it shows what you see. Anthony, he's gone to Real Betis, right?
Hanging them in.
He's played 5 games. He's scored like five goals. So he leaves United.
You don't sign. We don't sign players because they're like. Every single player that's came to Man United has been they've been signed for a reason, but then they come.
How many times do you talk about Real Betis?
Not many.
Exactly. How many times do you talk about Man United? All the time. So it's about he goes to Real Betis and he rips it up. Atletico Madrid won 75 million for Anthony. So
if I just touch on one player in particular, Rashford. So he's obviously a local lad. He gets so many column inches wrote about him all the time. As soon as he moved to Villa, it seemed like a different Rashford that you hadn't had in years.
I think that's over exaggerated. I think that's over exaggerated. Like I've watched him play. I've watched him play. Right, all right. He's playing a bit better. He's getting a few assists and goals and all that. But I'm still not like he played for England when he turned up for England. That was the Rashford at Man United. I would love nothing more for Rashford to come back, knuckle down and do what he does, but who knows what's going on the other side.
Will he leave?
Fight, right?
Will he leave, do you reckon? Oh, yeah.
1 million
I think he's leaving. You can't come back from that.
He scored 2 goals against Preston.
Well,
say no more.
So I'm in agreement with you. That's what I mean. Like
He scored 2 goals against Preston.
It's been over exaggerated, isn't it? How well he's doing since he's left. It's
Well
like,
done,
I'm not really seeing that much of a difference. Asensio, if anything's, like, has been the main player for them. Like,
so in the summer as well, is there going to be a case of a complete clear out? Do you reckon loads of players kind of go? Because there is a few
but they're
players.
massive wages though. Who's going to take them?
Well, Casemiro's your big one, isn't it? He's old and.
Do you know what, Casemiro? If you can get rid of him to Saudi, great. If not, you've got to take him. He can play a role somewhere, but I'm realistic. Who's going to take Casemiro at 350 grand a week unless he's gone to Saudi?
It's got to be
Saudi or nothing.
It's got to be Saudi, yeah.
So if any of the Newcastle fans is watching, we need a break from you, Saudi. Yeah, give us a hand, give us a lift here.
Newcastle might sign Rashford though.
I don't think they would.
Got Gordon on that wing. That's the thing, isn't it?
Who's better,
Strong.
Gordon or Rashford?
At the minute, got to be Gordon.
Would you take
I wouldn't take Rashford over Gordon.
No?
Even if I was the England manager, I wouldn't put him in ahead of him. But with you guys as well, a lot of you've obviously fallen down this season. It's been a bad year for you guys. There's been a few teams that are progressing kind of thing. Nottingham Forest are doing well. Newcastle, you got Brighton, you got Aston Villa. Does it worry you going into next season that obviously?
Well, here's my forecast for this season, right? So we're going to finish 13th or something in the league, right? Newcastle's going to finish 5th. And Man United's going to win the Europa League, and we'll get Champions League and knock them into Europe. I think that'll happen.
Who's had a better season? If we win Europa League and Newcastle finish 5th and win Carabao Cup, who's had a better season?
I'd probably say on par because we've needed that monkey off our back.
I'll agree with that.
Answer my question.
I would say on par. I would say, but you guys, the expectation for you is different in Newcastle.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
What would you rather do? Finish 13th and win Europa League, or finish 5th and win Carabao Cup?
Probably the 5th in the cup. I would say.
Would you really?
Because it's progression, isn't it? It's like it's over a league.
It's not Champions League.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
So who's had better season?
I've been surrounded, obviously, by Newcastle fans, so I know how much it meant. And you know what? And a little bit of us was quite happy for them at the end of the day. It was like when Newcastle and Liverpool was in the final, it was like picking someone to sleep with your wife. There was no winner, right?
Maybe for you, because you're a Geordie. But for us, it's not. It's like if we win Europa League, if we win Europa League, right, and finish 13th, and they finish 5th and win Carabao Cup, we've had a better season.
100%. I would agree. Like Europe, innit? But
so in the summer, then, what's the kind of expectation for next season? I know obviously a lot's going to depend on the summer, but is there hope that you can kind of get Europe next season, or what's kind of the expectation?
I think we'll get Europe. I think we'll be in Europe next season. I'm got a Man United Lyon game on Thursday. I fucking think I watched the game. On a couple of Nana trips. The only threat to us, really, I think, is Spurs. I've got my hotel booked for Bilbao already. I'm there, like.
My hotel's booked, mate. We're on the way to Bilbao.
Fucking Newcastle fan.
He's a Man U fan. He lives up here, though.
Fucking hell.
So last 2 questions as well is what's your thoughts on the owners as well? And when I say owners, I know it's obviously split.
I watched the Ratcliffe interview, and you know what? It's difficult but that Ratcliffe interview did open my eyes a little bit, and
You like him more or less after the
well, no, I respected him for coming
very honest,
because you've not had that in 20 years from the Glazers, and you could almost see he was wanting to hammer down on them, wasn't he? But he's like, he knows that he's in a tied contract with them, and so I appreciated the honesty from him. So he went up a little bit in my estimations there, but at the end of the day, I don't think the toxicity will ever leave until we're gone with the Glazers. There's so much gone now, and they don't care.
Can you see them going? Because I know you have had protests. We had protests with Mike Ashley a few years ago. Doesn't really do anything because people are paying.
It's an investment for them, right? Yeah. It's an investment. So there's always a check out of the investment. So there's going to come a time where they think they didn't get enough money-wise what they wanted. Yeah. They've got a figure in their head. So they're thinking that if Ratcliffe comes in with part ownership, builds it back up again, gets us into the Champions League, then they'll have a cash out. They don't care about Man United. They care about return on their investment. So if they get a number that they're expecting, then I'm sure they'll cash out. But I don't think that the fucking all the protests and all that will kick them on. They couldn't care.
I disagree. I don't think they'll ever sell. No way.
Do you not think that I'm more inclined to agree with him? I think honestly, the more penny pinching and saving that's getting done, they're probably more interested to stay because the more profit they're going to be getting.
No, but that's
Newcastle.
No, but it's business though. Like at the end of the day, everything's sellable. So if somebody comes in at the right price,
He talked about
you're
the actual
always
thing with
gonna sell.
Newcastle, and that's massive. What he just says there, you know, mate, Newcastle fans, you know, mate, who are a great fan base and all that, and I appreciate.
Yeah, but
you
they're
know,
one
mate.
city club, aren't they?
Exactly.
They're one city club.
But seriously, they thought you would never get rid of Ashley, but they got rid of him, and they've only excelled since. Like, you know, let's be fair about it. Like,
But
no,
you've got to look at it though. So like you're saying, like they'll never leave, right? Say they're taking like 200 million pounds of dividends a year, right? If they get like a monstrous offer to like, you know, it's a public limited company, they'll sell their shares. If they take enough of a win, they'll reinvest it somewhere else. You know, that is the only buyout, and it's going to have to be an overinflated price. You know, you're talking, what are we on, 15, 16 pound a share at the minute?
They bought the club for about 400 million, and it's worth about 2 billion. So why would they sell? They're not going to sell.
What's your thoughts on the new stadium as well?
I'm all for it.
I think the fans are going to suffer for the new stadium.
No, you don't like it?
No.
The design of
I'm
it, the
for it,
kind of
like
feel?
Old Trafford for me, right?
That's just like.
I just
he's
think-
speaking from the heart, like, but let's be fair, you know what I mean? But
I'm for
I
it.
don't want to be monopolising Man United as like a, you know, like a American football team, you know what I mean? Like selling.
No, but
I've seen it and I loved it. Like I'll be honest, like, and I know it's like I know it divides it, but I just think, you know, it's a proper standout, like
Top of the range.
detract from the original proper stand, like just a proper original idea. If they can bring investment to Manchester as well, you know, completely
well,
revolutionise the
that's
area.
good too,
I'm for it personally. I know that there's obviously the Old Trafford history and all that, but I'm sure it'll be done tastefully. If it is,
you have to
that's
realise
my opinion.
that they can't.
You
No,
both
they
talk
can't.
shit,
They can't.
I'll
They
tell
can't. They can't. They can't turn it on. They like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, like. No, we're American and we want to be. No, I mean that's not the way. Old Trafford, you know, man. You have to have a heart.
Football's changing. Football's changing.
It is, yeah.
Football's changing.
It's the same with us, so we
can't
got the
hang
same
on.
debate up here with St James's Park, where potentially moving and stuff like that. But with you guys, you were getting a bit of stick because obviously water was coming in. Was there not a need to kind of do it? Do you think?
That just gets glorified though. The exact same thing was happening at fucking Anfield. You know, the exact same. But just because it's Man United, obviously, it's been
need upgrade.
derelict.
The biggest club in the
Of
world.
course it is. It's an absolute shithole. Like, you know, you go for the tour. It's the same thing you've been seeing for the last 20 years. It's an absolute mess. Had no investment, but
And
there's
then,
I think the majority, obviously, because they've done the consultation and all that, it was like is a new. You know, look, I know the Bernabeu and the new camp's getting renewed. I would love to have something like if they've done the new camp, but I just don't think it's feasible.
last question as well. Manager, is he going to stick around for a few years?
Ruben Amorim. For the glory days again. We're spotted for the strip, but then it's went around. Ruben Amorim. For the glory days again. Right, that's something.
Is he there for a while, or is he just there a season?
Yeah, we've got 100% faith on him, man. He's a revolutionary young manager. There's I'm all for Ruben Amorim, like, and 95% of Man United fans are. If you're not, then you need to get on board.
And then
man.
last question, why Man U? Why are you following Man U? Because they're the last out on the questions.
They were caught. Everyone would say it's glory hunting, but it's actually because he's my best mate and his mother's had the Berwick bus. They had the Berwick branch, and she was like 6 years old. So when I came to Berwick, met this lad and
Fell in love with Man U.
fell in love with Man United. Got the buses down. We do like 8-hour return trips every home game. Get the away games. It's you can't fucking help it.
There we go. Right. Thank you very much, lads. Thank you for your time. Appreciate it.